everyone, my name is Allie. I am your DIY coach this week for Flowers for Dreams. We have some beautiful flowers, an anemone with a beautiful dark blue center. We have cream lisianthus, and it's ruffly and has lots of buds. Keep those. We have a ruffly peach ranunculus, all of the petals in the world that just kind of float open as the week goes. Very vibrant orange spray rose, and with the softer tones of the bouquet, I think this one's really gonna pop this week. Then we have some shimmer soft pink on the outside of their petal, but as they start to open up, you definitely get more of those orange tones and yellow tones towards the center. So very lovely rose to have in this arrangement. And then we have our upright eucalyptus or baby blue eucalyptus. It does make your hands a little bit sticky, so looking forward to cleaning that off once we're done. Let's get into this arrangement. You're gonna have flowers from all different angles, but if you were putting it, let's say, on a end table up against a wall, then maybe you could focus your flowers more forward. So let's start by cleaning up some of our greenery. Get some of these beautiful flowers out of the way so we're not smushing them. All right, so our eucalyptus, we want to divide up in a way that we're going to make a grid for our flowers to hold on to while they're in the vase. And since we have a bit taller of a vase, I want to make sure that my greens are long enough to reach the bottom as well as be useful for more than one piece. So we're gonna separate that out and peel the greenery off from the bottom. Oh yeah. See, sticky. I told you it's sticking to my fingers. And make sure you put a nice angled cut on the bottom of those greens so that when it's sitting at the bottom of the vase, it's still drinking enough water. That might be just a skosh tall, but we'll see. We'll see. And what do we want to do with this? Again, peeling off the greenery leaves. We don't want the leaves to be in our water because it'll make it dirty and kind of kill the flowers a bit faster. It's a fun flower tip that if you have your bouquet sitting for a couple days, you can switch out the water, give it a fresh rinse, and put the arrangement back in, and that'll actually help your flowers stay fresher longer. So now what I'm doing, I have two different greenery pieces, and what I want to do is kind of hook those into each other. So here we have the different branches coming off of this one. I cleaned up the lower leaves, so those aren't going to be in our water. And I'm going to take this other branch and in our vase, stick it through so that they're kind of locking into each other. This is going to create a grid for you to stick those flowers into. It does look a little bit branchy, so we may have to edit this once we got a few more greenery pieces in, but we'll see how it goes. And again, weaving those different pieces through the branches to create that grid for your flowers to sit into once we get there. How tall do we want this to be? I feel like this is getting a little out there, but maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. It's really branchy, isn't it? While we're cleaning up the greens and adding in these little pieces, you want to make sure you're adding it front to back, left to right, really crisscrossing those stems in the vase. Let's see if this guy's a little too short. Might be. Be tall, stand, little leaf, little greenery sprout. She's still a little wild, isn't she? We'll figure it out. We'll see. If you like it a little wild, awesome. Leave those greenery pieces a little taller. If not, feel free to cut them back. Like maybe this guy could just trim it down And there you are. I have it a little bit more sprawled of an arrangement. Again, cleaning off those greens from the bottom, the leaves, and they're sticking to me. Ew. But it'll clean off, no problem. Just a few more pieces, and we will have a nice grid set up. Sometimes with upright eucalyptus, the ends can be a little wimpy, and you can just trim those right off. Just go to the next leaf down and trim that very end off if you're not liking it. All right. Wow, she is fluffy. We'll see how we feel. And again, when we're adding in those extra flowers, we can see if this is going to be a little bit too long for us, and we can trim it back if we need to. Again, cleaning off those tips that are a little, some of them look great, and then other ones are just kind of wimpy. So just trimming those back, and who's to know that it ever wasn't looking its best. All right, so generally when I'm making arrangement, I like to start with my line flowers, but since we don't have those, I'm thinking that we could have some Lisianthus be a little bit taller this week. So let's clean off those lower leaves. We're gonna, again, separate out what, oh, I got a little broken branch, and that can go with our little scraps. I'm gonna divide that piece off so that we have more than one. On Lisianthus, you can leave the greenery that's up higher, so if you'd like, these leaves aren't gonna be in the water, so they're fine to leave, but if you'd like the focal to be more on that, on the flower itself, feel free to strip those greenery pieces off. And again, with all the little buds on here, maybe you like one, but the other ones are getting a little too busy, and you can just trim those right off as well. And one of the things that I do when I am cutting the stems is I kind of hold it up to my vase to see about how tall you want to cut those pieces. And then I kind of cut down by the table when I'm holding it up. So this way, you can see that it's giving it a little bit taller, and then you can always put in the flower into the vase, see if you like it, or if not, if it's too tall or too short. If it's too short, obviously we're gonna maybe use that piece a different place, but if it's too tall, you can just trim a little bit more off. But I always like to hold up my flower to my vase and kind of cut at the table. That way you know about how long that flower is going to be. Here, I like the height of it, and I'm just going to give it a nice little angled cut. And again, adding some over here as well as balancing it out and adding some on the other side. And you'll see that you can kind of angle the flowers out a little bit more if you put them towards the edge of the vase rather than the bottom of the vase. So here we have this Lisianthus. It's straight down, it makes it more upright. If you wanted to angle out a little bit more, what you'd want to do is pull the stem out and kind of angle it off of the middle of the glass rather than the bottom of the glass. Do another taller piece. So I have some shorter pieces. This one has 2 buds on it, so I'm gonna, again, trim off that other one, pull the leaves off. This one, the leaves are a little bit large towards the flower, so again, I'm just gonna peel those off to have the flower be more the focus rather than the leaves. But if you like your arrangement to be gardeny, feel free to leave those on. It's totally up to you. Do as you wish. Let's see, I think I want to make this guy a little taller. And maybe, but just a gentle twist will help get your flower into that grid a little bit easier. And I feel like that's a little tall, don't we? Let's trim that down a little. All right. And we have a few extra pieces. I think I'm just gonna save these to add in a little bit later. So next, let's do our roses. We're gonna, again, clean off the lower leaves. If they're gross, you can pull those off too. Just don't want them in the water. And then we have the guard petals around the roses. If it looks like a bad petal, just pull it right off. Doesn't have to be there. You can also give a little bit of air to the center of the flower, and this will kind of open it up a little bit more. These guys, though, pretty tight right now, so we'll give a little bit of air, but I don't think they're gonna open too much. You can try, no. That one's a little too wonky for me to spin it. So let's just try to see where they're at, and once we get the arrangement in some water and let it sit for a little bit, those roses will start to open on their own as well. Cleaning off those bottom leaves, giving it a little air, taking off any petals, are looking a little rough. Again, you want to angle those stems when you're putting them in. See where it's hitting over here on the vase, and now it's kind of sticking out pretty far. It's still in plenty of water, but I think that flower is sitting a little high for where I want it to sit. So I'm just gonna take a little more off. Again, angle it back through my grid that I have. It's given a little bit of height, but there. What do we think? What do we think? It's a little airy. We'll see. We'll see if we like it. Right. So, shimmer roses this week. I wonder who names the flowers, you know? Who decided shimmer was what these were going to be called? And when you spin, you want to slowly go all the way across your palm, not too quickly, or else you'll break some of the petals off. And again, this week I feel like the roses are a little tight, which is good because that means they're very fresh, very firm flower, and it's not quite ready to start opening up yet, but it will as the week goes on. Again, just cutting those flowers, getting them at some different heights. This one I think could be a little lower. There, yes. Ooh. And your anemone. Let's see. It has this fun little curve to it, doesn't it? So maybe we want to use that one off. It seems like it's kind of leaning my right or left. And so I think I'm going to use it over here on this side so that she's putting her best foot forward. Again, giving a little trim, little angle cut on there. Letting her stand proud. Out to be a focal. Such a little cutie. Okay, so we have a few more roses. Let's add these guys in. Again, pulling off those guard petals or any petals that look wimpy or that were smushed and the long travel she took to get to us. So let's put one over here. Let's see where she is. Again, using those different quadrants. So we have some up front, some in back. I think we're gonna have to edit this baby down a little bit. Getting too many things up. So wanna have a little bit of variety of what's up versus down, or what has a longer stem versus a shorter stem. This one is cute, but I think it's kind of taking away from the arrangement, and I think it would be a little bit better if it was shorter. So just gonna take a little bit more off of that one. Again, angling that stem through the grid. Having it be a 360. One more rose. What do we think? We could have it be taller and on the side. That would be fun, huh? Let's see. Let's see how it looks. We can change it if we don't like it. All right. Hope you all are having a lovely week. It has been crazy weather. Lots of places have standing water everywhere, so I hope you guys are all safe. Your basements are dry. Okay, what do we think? Might be a little too tall. I'm gonna add another piece of Lisianthus in here to cover up that stem. So from this side, it did look like it was a little bare right there. So I cut this Lisianthus piece to kind of bring that focal a little more depth. And so you're seeing a focal flower rather than seeing that stem out there. It still might be a little tall, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. I have one more little piece of Lisianthus, and I have my ranunculus. And I know that I want my ranunculus to be a focal, so I think it's gonna end up in the center of the arrangement. But I also know these spray roses are gonna create a lot of depth. So I think, and I'm trying to figure out what should go where. I kind of hold the flowers there and see if I would like it. Maybe I'd like the spray rose over here, but it feels like it's just kind of pulling your eye to that area rather than kind of floating around the whole arrangement. So I think these really vibrant spray roses should kind of sit in the center. I'm gonna cut off this little bud that's a little bit lower that probably won't open. Give them a little air. Have them open up a little bit more. And I think we're gonna put them in the center. It'll be a lovely contrast as well with the soft ranunculus too. And I'm gonna give that ranunculus a little angled cut. Let's see if you're gonna be tall enough to sit here, little ranunculus, huh? Sometimes they have a little bit shorter of a stem, so you gotta work with the flower. Oh, she's kind of cute. Okay, so let's see here. I think maybe we should cut this rose a little bit lower so it's giving a little variety in height throughout the arrangement. Really getting that depth from the bottom of the vase up through the center. And stand back out there, anemone. Where did you go? I must have moved a stem. There it is. Just back out there. Okay, let's see. Really do like this one. So the front has a lot of focal flowers, really nice variety over there, but now we need to focus on our other side. So it got a little bit, feeling a little bit more like a back side, and we don't want that. So I'm going to Add this rose back in over here. I'm going to take this last lisianthus that I have. I'm going to remove some of those buds, give it a fresh trim, get that piece a little bit lower for her. This rose can be a little bit shorter. Spinning it again to get it through your stems that you have. Come on, sit where you should, little rose. There, okay. Now that we have all of those, this one's feeling a little tall, isn't it? So let's bring her down a little. What do we think? Just a little lower. I think it's kind of cute there. I like that it has some height to it, but I think it was just a little bit too tall. So again, putting it in at an angle, crossing through your grid. Oh, not tipping your face over. Let's see how that looks. What do we think? What do we think? What you could also do is have your ranunculus facing one direction as well as your anemone facing the other. That way it gives it a nice, fun, kind of different focal flower for a whole 360 look. Where you can see from this side, we still have a bunch of beautiful flowers there, but the preference is on this side with that ranunculus sticking out straight forward. So let's turn that baby around. Oh, gorgeous. Adjust that greenery a little bit. You can fluff up your stems, but still double checking, making sure that your stems are fully in water. Where are you, ranunculus? Nice grid pattern holding the different stems in place. There you have it. A beautiful summer arrangement with that vibrant orange spray roses. Again, taking off petals that you don't like, leaving ones that if you do like their color, feel free to leave those on. Some of the guard petals on these roses do have a nice deep pink hue on them, which is kind of fun variety to play with. So feel free to pull them off if you don't like them. If you do like them, feel free to leave them on. It's totally up to you. I hope you guys had fun this week. Please do share your flower arrangements with us at Flowers for Dreams on Instagram. And I hope to see you all next week. Bye.